Hey, happy Friday, everybody. As promised, we are going to be sitting down and doing a live Q&A session. Thank you guys for submitting your questions throughout the week. We have a full page of questions that we will try our best to be as specific and as informative as possible, but we do have quite a bit of information to go over. So we're really excited to see that you guys are so curious about your health and getting questions and answers out. That's what Megan and I strive for every day. And so let's get started.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up so I can see everybody's questions on the Facebook Live. Okay, so got that going. Okay, so our first question says, is the MFTHR a genetic issue? Can it be reversed or I'm healed? And their brother has it. Should the sisters also get tested?
Okay, so the question is about the MFTHR gene variant, and what that stands for is, and this is something we do at the Wellness Way all the time, is we do methylation constantly. So the MTFHR condition is a genetic variant where our genes can no longer do methylation quite well. And we have to understand that our genes respond to the environment which we create in our body. So if we are diagnosed with this, whether your brother has it or you have it, we got to understand that the gene is turning on or turning off in this situation because of the environment. So that is something that we can test for here at the Wellness Way. We do all sorts of testing. One of them is the Dutch test. It's the dried urine technique that we do. And that can show if your body is methylating properly or not. So if you do have that diagnosis, just remember that your genes respond to the environment. So if we want to make a change in that, if your brother wants to see a change, or if you want to avoid getting it altogether, what we can do is test your body and see what areas are struggling and what system you've created in your body that makes the genes respond in that way. So is it something that can be reversed? If you can turn it on, you can turn it off.
Okay, so then the next question is, does the body make the cholesterol, or do you have to eat it, or I'm assuming change your diet in order to produce more or less?
Okay, very good question. I like this question. 80 to 90% of the cholesterol found in blood is created by your liver. 10 to 20% of that cholesterol is only affected through diet. Now, does that mean if you have high cholesterol that you can solve everything by changing your diet? No. Okay? Only 10 to 20% of that cholesterol is actually added by the foods you eat. So let's go back to the liver. The liver can produce healthy, normal levels of cholesterol. But when there's a ton of inflammation in your body and in your blood vessels, your liver will kick in and produce more. Why is your liver producing more cholesterol? The reason being is when we create an environment in our body that starts damaging the blood vessels, the liver uses cholesterol as a band-aid. So that inflammation and all that extra sugar that's floating around in the blood weakens the blood vessel. So that's the problem. The cholesterol is not the problem. And that's what Major Medical doesn't understand, or they don't want to teach you. The reason why your liver is producing high numbers of cholesterol is it's trying to seal up all of the damage that's in the blood vessel. So it's not the liver's fault, and it's definitely not cholesterol's fault. It's the environment in which you created in your body that's weakening the blood vessel walls, and so your liver has to produce high cholesterol to band-aid, to seal up all that crack and damage to the blood vessel. So the reason why Major Medical gets this wrong is they want to crush the number that comes back on your blood work, and they do it through statins. Okay, statins are an awful drug, and it never solves the problem why your liver is naturally producing high cholesterol. It goes back to the inflammation and the weakness in the blood vessels, and that's something we can measure and we can definitely correct. So high cholesterol shouldn't be something that you automatically jump to a pill to solve. you should ask yourself, if most of my cholesterol comes from the liver, why is the liver producing that? Okay, so that's my answer right there. So people with high cholesterol numbers, we can naturally lower it on its own just by changing the environment, by checking your sugar levels, by checking your CRP levels, by looking at your organ function, and then looking at food allergies as well. All of those things will create inflammation, and then the liver's like, oh my gosh, this person has so much inflammation, I got to produce more cholesterol to shut it all off. But if you go and take a medicine, you're never, ever, ever, ever going to fix the issue of why. You're not stopping the inflammation, so your liver's going to continue to try to produce cholesterol, but that statin drug is actually a poison. It poisons the liver and tells it to stop making cholesterol. It blocks the reaction so it can't. So your body's screaming, I'm on fire. The liver saying, okay, I'm going to produce some cholesterol to help seal up all that damage in your blood vessel. So now it can't because you're taking a statin.
Oh my gosh.
It kind of sucks.
That sounds very dangerous.
It is very dangerous, and that's why cancer, strokes, and heart disease is killing everybody.
Did not make that connection. Wow. Okay. The next one that a lot of people have this question.
I haven't seen these questions before. I purposely didn't read this page.
So this one is something that I think, something that's really common that the world sees as normal. Is it normal?
Okay. I like that.
Is it normal to have hot flashes and other symptoms of menopause?
Okay, the answer is no. If we go into menopause as a healthy woman, menopause is actually a time to celebrate. Because menopause means that you are no longer cycling, so you don't have to produce an egg to be fertilized. So your monthly periods naturally go away. It's kind of God's grace for putting up a good fight.
I can't wait till I get there.
So is it normal? No, it's normal in the United States. Is it what's the other word?
It's common.
It's common,
not normal.
but it's not normal. So as we cycle, as you cycle as a woman, your hormones do this, up and down, up and down. Release the egg, release the egg, release the, so when you hit menopause, you should have a nice level of hormones. But if you go into menopause as sick or inflamed, your hormones crash to an unhealthy level, and that's where hot flashes start to show up. Mm-hmm. So again, hot flash is a warning. Your body's trying to say, there's something wrong with me. I'm down here. I actually need to be right here. So no, it's something that unfortunately in the U.S., they use that to sell you more drugs.
Well, yeah, and everybody thinks, it's common to have hot flashes. Oh, but I just have to deal with this for the next couple of years until I'm through menopause.
Yeah. So sickness is very common. Health is not common. So if we want to get away from those hot flashes, you got to get tested. Let's check to see how your organs are functioning, what your blood levels are, and we can even check your hormones. So let's see. That's a good question. And no, you don't have to go through hot flashes. A healthy woman through menopause should actually still have a libido, should not gain weight, should have good muscle mass, and definitely should not be hot flashing.
Yeah, okay. Good info. Someone says, I went into menopause medically, never had any symptoms of menopause. That's good. Can you heal from, is it called gastroenteritis?
Gastroenteritis?
Yeah. And what causes it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the question was, can you heal from gastroenteritis? Absolutely. So our body, our intestines are very fragile and they're very sensitive, and they're that way on purpose. The reason being is when we eat or swallow something, it goes right into our intestines. That's kind of our first line of defense. Our stomach is designed to wash the food with hydrochloric acid to try to minimize any of the pathogens such as viruses, bacteria, fungus, yeast, any of that coming down. It tries to wash it, but if our stomach can't wash it, then it goes into our intestines, and then our intestines are designed to be very sensitive to what's in it. Okay, if it feels like there's something that's going to cause damage, or if it's afraid of what's inside of it, what it will do is produce diarrhea. or it'll produce vomiting. So our intestines are very sensitive for a purpose, because we don't want to keep nasty stuff inside of us. So gastroenteritis is basically a condition that's formed when our stomach and bowels are so inflamed from the things that we're exposing it to that it's just constantly on high alert. Our intestines are only one cell thick. So the filtration that goes from the intestines to the blood is only, the defense is only one cell thick. So we can damage that over time, and then we don't have any filtration. So our immune system goes to that area and it creates all this redness and swelling and blood, like ulcers and stuff like that. And so yeah, we can definitely reverse that.
So then they call it an autoimmune disorder and just give you an immune suppressant.
Yep. So all the medication out there for gastroenteritis is just to shut off the natural response of inflammation. So really ask yourself, why is my intestines inflamed? And 9 out of 10 times it's a food allergy. So we do food allergy testing here at the office. That's something that has dramatically changed my life within this year and Megan's life. And at least not only does your gastroenteritis start to go away, but then your organs aren't stressed out, and then your hormones start to balance, and then all the weight and the hair loss and the autoimmune diseases start to go away as well.
If you don't take care of gastroenteritis, couldn't it cause colon cancer?
Yep, absolutely.
That's what happened with my dad, correct?
Yeah. So things like acid reducers like Prilosec, that's a really bad idea, because what you're doing again is you're taking a medication to shut the body up. Your body is trying to regurgitate that on purpose.
Yeah.
But Larry the Cable Guy, he wants you to take Prilosec, which is an acid reducer. And if you don't wash your food and you don't break it down, you're just asking for more problems. So I just took an x-ray of an older lady who's taking an acid reducer, and she still has medication in her stomach that's not dissolved. So they look like little white pieces of chalk floating around in her intestines. And I said, "What pills do you take?" And she's like, "Why?" I was like, "I can see them on your x-ray." She's like, "Oh, those are painkillers." So she has undissolved painkillers floating around in her stomach. So do you think that'll lead to bigger issues down the road? Yeah, if you're pooping out painkillers.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Wow.
So don't tell your body to shut up, and that's basically what medicines do. It says, "I don't want to listen, I don't want to fix you, I just want you to shut up."
Yeah. Okay, so this next one is, can you help or reverse the symptoms of ADHD or autism or those types of things?
Yes. So there is a level of correction in those diagnoses, absolutely. So the brain can really have an effect, can be thrown off by inflammation. My anxiety and my depression literally was connected to the inflammation that I was putting my body through. Also vaccines. The heavy metals that are in vaccines are neurotoxic, and our nerves in our brain are very sensitive to those metals. So we can put the body through metal detox to help purge that as fast as we can. It's not an excuse, right? If you get in a vaccine, there's always going to be a side effect, and we'll try to minimize it, but there's going to be a price to pay. So yeah, definitely.
So if you suffer from those types of illnesses, would it be even more important not to do vaccination?
Yes,
Because it
absolutely.
would just add to the
I mean, even with the COVID-19 vaccine that they're rushing out, they say if you have food allergies, you shouldn't take it. They're actually willing to admit at least that. So a lot of ADHD and autism is connected to the vaccines and also to inflammation. So types of foods that we're feeding our kids, again, that's why it's important to get your blood tested or get your child's blood tested, because everybody's allergies are different, and that's just scratching the surface.
You could even test to see if you have high metals in your body, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Next, do the numbers on the food allergy test mean the lower the number, you can eat it occasionally?
I know who asked that.
Well, she said it.
Yeah.
For others.
Yeah. All right, and I have such an issue with this because I'm going to call the company and tell them to stop putting numbers next to the foods because it just plays with my patients' minds. Okay, so,
Right.
so here's the answer to that. If it's red, you're dead. If it's blue, you're good. Okay? So when you get your food allergies tested, I actually have mine right here because it helps remind me every day. What?
I said, well, how handy.
So when you get your food allergies back, they'll have a red section and a blue section. The red section is the question that the patient's asking. Next to these foods, there's numbers 1 through 4. And that's what I wish they would just take off. The reason being is they put those there to kind of rate the severity of which your blood reacted to these foods. So 1 is it reacted, 2 is it really reacted, 3 and 4 is it severely reacted. So like I said, if it's red, you're dead. Don't touch it. Whether it's 1 through 4, it doesn't matter.
Michelle says, you have a lot of red.
I know, I do. I have 34 out of 110. That's how sensitive I am to the foods that I put in my body, and that's why my anxiety and depression was so severe. That's why I couldn't lose weight. That's why I lost all of my testosterone. I used to be on testosterone injections because my body was too sick to produce. So men and women, our hormones are directly connected to the health of our organs, and our organs are directly connected to the health of what we're putting through our bodies. So whether it's food, chemicals, air pollutants, vaccines, all of that stuff is going to damage something. Yes. So yeah, I avoid these at all costs, and I stick to my blue foods, and I am so much better, and I have more muscle, and my testosterone's coming back, and my anxiety and depression, I haven't taken meds for 10 months now, so it's a huge celebration for Megan and I, because that has been something that severely has put a big roadblock in our life.
Yeah. And then, so you would retest these every year?
Yes, that's correct.
Because you're not going to stick with 34 food allergies for the rest of your life.
Nope. So that, Megan brings up a good point. With the food allergy testing, you get retested every year. The reason being is this reflects the state of our immune system. So if we're constantly poisoned, our immune system gets riled up and it gets very angry. So even a little bit of an irritant, our immune system is already freaked out and it's going to go after even the small stuff. But as we heal and the lining of our intestines heal, our organs are no longer stressed out, and the hormones are coming back into range, then we build up more of a tolerance. It's kind of like a cup. You can put so much water into a cup, and then once it gets to the edge, then that's when it starts spilling over. So right now, my cup is full, and I'm spilling over. I'm creating disease, okay? Our body has a tolerance buffer, okay? And so after a year of staying away from these foods, I'll retest. No matter if it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, I avoid it like it's the plague. I talk to my patients and I say, don't call these food allergies, call these food poisons, okay? If you switch the word allergy to poison, it makes more sense why you should just stay away from the reds. If it's red, you're dead.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, should everyone be gluten-free and dairy-free?
Very good question. So yes, the short answer is very yes. So one of the things I do here at the Wellness Way is I do food education courses or visits. So once we get your food allergies back, that's specific to you. Your food allergies is what your blood reacted to, not mine, not Megan's, it's yours. So that's one type of foods that you should always avoid. The second bit is there are groups of foods that are just raunchy. They're just awful and super inflammatory. And it doesn't matter if your immune system reacts to it or not. It's still going to be devastating. And the top 4 right off my head is corn, soy, wheat, and dairy. Those 4 things will fatten you up and make you ripe for slaughter. That's why they feed all that nasty stuff to cattle right before they're about to weigh in and be sold at market. So do you want to be a fat cow? Eat corn, wheat, soy, and dairy. Those things will fatten you up and knock your immune system out and your hormones off balance so fast. That's some good free advice.
Mm-hmm. Andrea just asked on here, she says, she's having hot flashes because of her hypothyroid. She's wondering if she should get her hormones checked.
Yes, very good, Miss Andrea. So with my patients, I always try to take a very systematic approach. I like to focus on one area of the body at a time. That way we can give the body some time to heal, but also at the same time, not kind of over treat a patient too soon. I want to see at a very basic level what needs to be addressed. So I always like to start with food allergies, but the next step for you, Miss Andrea, is definitely hormone testing. So call in so we can set up that appointment and we can start investigating other areas of the body. Okay, so here's a good example. I made this little diagram.
Where it be?
It's taking forever. Here we go. It's beautiful.
It's wonderful.
Can they see that?
No.
They can't see
They
that.
can't see your screen.
I'll be talking for the next 10 minutes to a screen.
There you go.
Okay, so I made this diagram to kind of show some of the basic testing that we do at the Wellness Way, and it's very easy to understand. So there's 3 things we have to do every day to survive. We have to breathe, we have to eat, and we have to drink something. So the first thing we always test is the first interaction with nature is our stomach and our intestines. So that's where the food allergy comes. So once we identify what's poisoning our body, then the next step of testing is testing the blood. Seeing how the organs are working, see the white blood cells, which are our immune system, checking out the red blood cells, all of that is now the blood. So we go from the stomach to the blood, and then the other 2 tests that we'll do, if these don't knock out all the issues, is we start seeing how the body's eliminating. So we check the intake, we check to see what's floating around the body, and then we start testing what's coming out of the body. Because if we're not eliminating, we're going to be just as sick, and our hormones and our body weight and all that is still going to be awful if we're not eliminating properly. So we do stool testing and we do urine testing, and in the urine test we can also test for those hormones. So,
that one's the best.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So not only will it show us what the hormones are, it also shows us if the body's breaking those hormones down appropriately and eliminating them as fast as we're producing. So we don't want too little hormone, and we don't want to be getting rid of it too fast, and we don't want too much hormone, and we don't want to see that the body can't eliminate it. So it's kind of like a sewer system. You want just a nice steady flow. You don't want too much coming in and too little coming out, and vice versa. You don't want to block in your pipe, because then nothing gets out of your body, and that leads to sickness.
Michelle says great explanation of
Hey.
different steps of healing.
Yes.
Okay, so where was I? What helps headaches besides adjustments in food allergies?
Oh my gosh. So everything affects headaches. So just like the gastroenteritis, our brains are super, super sensitive to the environment that we're putting into it. I mean, blood vessel size can create a headache. Food allergies, traumas, physical pain creates headaches.
Caffeine dependency.
Sleep, allergies. So seasonal allergies can create it. Good goodness, there's so many. That's such a great question.
So what would you do to help is the question.
What-
What helps headaches?
Well, one is get good chiropractic care.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of chiros out there that, just because they're making a noise doesn't really mean that they're making a change in the body. So I would definitely focus on that again and find somebody that can actually treat a proper headache. And they got to work the tissue as much as they work the joint. And then when it comes to the other headaches, what can we do? Food allergies, hormone testing, making sure your CRP level, which is your inflammation marker, is adequate. Checking your neurotransmitters. So there's a hormone that's created in the intestinal lining called serotonin. Serotonin is our feel-good hormone, and if we have deficiencies in that, that can lead to headache as well. So that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of things that can create a headache. And that's cool because, again, that headache is your body saying, there's something wrong. Whatever you're doing in the past, do something different. Because I'm still struggling. I'm still having to send you a warning signal that there's something not right. Headaches come from heart as well. If our blood pressure is wonky and it's going up and down, left and right, that can create headaches as well. So kidney
So
function
So
came.
you just need more testing to figure out what is causing yours.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's a good answer. But I had to show that that's a very hard question to answer because there's so many variables.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then this last one. What do you use to help with shingles?
Okay.
Shingles is chickenpox virus, right?
It's the second wave of chickenpox. So the varicella zoster virus. Okay. So here we go, folks. We're going to talk about viruses now. What a interesting subject. Haven't talked about that during 2020.
At all.
At all. Okay. So there's a ton of viruses out there, and the fact is, it's already in you. It's on your skin, it's on your hands, it's in your mouth, it's in your guts. It's in the air. It's everywhere. Just get used to it. Don't be afraid of it. It's like a fish being afraid of water.
We need viruses.
We need it.
Bacteria.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we have an immune system, because we keep it out. It's going to be out there. We just don't want it to come in and stay in. It will come in, but our immune system will kick it out. So when it comes to shingles, what that is it's the chickenpox virus. Okay? So as kids, we all got chickenpox, and we will all continue to get chickenpox. And that's the cool thing, because we know our immune system will take care of it, and it will keep it under wraps. It will stay in our bodies.
You don't even know you have it.
Yeah, it will stay in our bodies, and that's what shingles is. So once we get the virus and our immune system builds up antibodies and it can regulate it and keep it in check, we go live our life happy and healthy. Even though it's still in us, it can't affect us. It can't damage us because our immune system keeps it at bay. But what happens is when we don't treat our bodies right and we suppress our immune system, that virus comes back a second time in the form of shingles. So it stays in our nerves. That's where it hides. It stays in our nerves. And then if our immune system can't keep it suppressed, it flares back up, and that's why we get shingles across the ribs in a very linear fashion, is it's because it's following those nerves, and it's very painful. So you can take all the steroids you want and all the creams you want, it's not going to affect it. The issue is the immune system can't keep it under wraps. So if you're somebody that has shingles or is afraid to have shingles, you just got to get your immune system checked. And we do immune panels here. You can literally check the numbers that I just had one come across. This just landed on my desk today. This is the immune panel. And this person has a highly reactive immune system right now, so they're currently fighting something. I won't go into more detail than that, but that's how common it is. And that's so frustrating that that's not our main treatment or kind of our guide for the COVID.
Like telling everybody to be scared and stay home and don't touch anybody. Like, that actually lowers your immune system.
Yeah.
Being scared, staying home, not going out. One, you're not coming in contact with the things your immune response needs to build a healthy immune response. You're not having those feel-good emotions by having human interaction, which also depresses your immune response.
If you don't get enough of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then adding all the fear of possibly getting sick on top of it, fear and stress, again, lowers your immune response. So that's just the perfect way to make sure that you get sick, real sick.
Yeah. And one of the funny things that I get a chuckle out of, it's not like a ha-ha, it's like is that you'll hear on the news, oh, there's nothing you can do to boost your immune system. There's no science that proves that you
can't boost it, but
you can restore it.
Yeah.
They know, they have immune suppressing drugs, so they know how to destroy the immune system. So you think they're kind of hiding the fact that they know how to not destroy the immune system. So people with shingles, people that are, you don't have to, as long as you can make sure that the immune system is in good shape, and we can monitor that and measure it and get you going. Avoid the traumas, toxins, and thoughts that reduce your immune system and allow the body to come back. Our bodies are capable of healing, and we really do not need pharmaceutical drugs to do that. They make too much money deceiving people and telling them that you need to run and hide and you need to depend on us to save your soul.
Yeah, basically. So if your immune panel comes back, you know, bad, like your immune system is not working well, what do you do?
Well, what we want to see is we do want, like in this patient's immune panel that just came back, his immune cells are high, which is a great sign because he's capable of taking his military and doubling it in size depending on what's coming in through the front gate. Okay, so he's having a very normal human reaction, and that's what's so important about the wellness way is the way we see this, the way we tell the story, the way we can interpret what the body's trying to say. So I would be terrified if his immune system was actually incapable of maintaining normal levels. Then cancers and viruses and all that can be an issue. And then we look for the stressors that are keeping his immune system low. So again,
so you can fix the immune response is what I'm trying to say. So if you get tested, you see that you're low and it's not reacting normally, there are ways that you can then reverse that damage and fix it so that way you can. And then you just retest it and then you know that your body can handle any virus.
Yep, that's right. So every day our immune system does amazing things and it fights off viruses, bacteria, fungus, yeast, and cancer. Every day our immune system is taking out the trash and getting rid of it. People that have cancer, it's because their environment is, their immune system is low and that allows the cancer to take full force. But every day, all of us, we're constantly killing those 5 things. It's when the immune system can no longer keep up because of what we've done to the body, then these big nasty things can take over and take us out. That's why with the COVID numbers, who's dying? It's the older people that are fatigued out, their immune system's not tip-top shape. Whether it's age, it's always like 85 plus, or being overweight and not being able to regulate your sugars. Those are the 3 big things. And really, only 1% of people 85 plus are dying. So it's like, it's crazy. But again, it's all about our immune system and avoiding those things that bring it down. Sugar will do it, weight will do it, and your age will definitely do it. So
it's not a bad thing to get sick.
Yeah, we're designed to. Megan brings up a good point.
Like everybody's
it's
so
okay to
be
be sick. It's okay. You know, it's so tough when you go out and you're trying to, you know, shop and then you go, achoo! A year ago, nobody, you know, you hear a sneeze or you hear a cough and your brain wouldn't even register it.
Usually you just say bless you.
Because being sick was just normal. It's just part of it. It's how long you're sick. That's the issue, right?
And how deeply are you sick?
Yeah. So now you can't cough. Now you can't sneeze. Now you can't blow your nose with somebody thinking that you're going to wipe out the entire planet.
Right.
It's exhausting.
So they're wanting to know what suggestions bolster the immune response. So that way for someone who has shingles or COVID, you know, are there things that they can take or things they can do to help boost the immune response?
So there are things you can do to boost it, but if you're cheating, if you're being sassy, or you're abusing your body, there's no amount of multivitamin, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, none of that will save you from your bad habits. So we don't play medicine with our herbs and supplements, meaning we don't say, oh, you know, if you have a symptom, medical wants to give you a drug. You can do the same thing with natural products as well. Oh, you got a symptom, you have herpes, or you have shingles, here, take this vitamin C, that'll do you some good. No, it's not. That's just chasing symptoms.
Do a little good, but not long term,
Bring it back to the basics, folks. Bring it back to what's stressing the body out that allows the virus to manifest, okay? So there are things that you can do. If you take the stressors out first, then you can take a multivitamin or you can take an herb to help transition you from a sick state to a healthy state. But if you're sick and you don't remove your stressors, there's no amount of anything that you can take that will override and allow the immune system to function again.
She's like, you're mean. Thanks for giving it to us straight, though.
Oh. Well, I get tired of sugarcoating it.
She was joking.
No, I like it. I like the response. But, I mean, you see the craziness that's out there. People are afraid of a
Mandy
sneeze.
says, I love it that whenever one of you guys uses sassy in the videos.
I've never used that word until I met the Wellness Way.
Seriously.
Sassy. It's like a deathbed confession. You can't sin your whole life, and you can't mistreat people or your spouse or lie, steal, and cheat, and then expect on your deathbed to, pray to God for forgiveness. That's just like your immune system. You can't beat the snot out of your immune system, and then once you get herpes or virus or shingles, then you can't be like, oh, I'll take a vitamin. I'll be good. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. This isn't the gospel according to Dr. Johansen. I would make things super easy if it was based on my opinion, but this is just biology 101. And that's what I have my bachelor's of science in, human biology. So I'm glad I studied the body as much as I could, because that's why I can incorporate all this really cool stuff in my office.
Mandy would like a shirt that says #sassy. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, well that looks like all the questions we've got for today. We got to go to lunch before we miss it. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I got them, and then I think I got all these. Okay. Yeah. So anybody who interacted today is now entered into our drawing. Anybody who sent in questions or commented or liked or shared the video, you're going to be entered into our drawing. We're going to do that tomorrow, so I'll put all the names in a bag. Also, any of our patients that came in this month will be entered into that drawing as well.
Yep.
So, tomorrow we'll be at my mom's for making gingerbread houses, and we will announce the winners from there.
Yes. So again, tradition, whatever religion you are or whatever your traditions are extremely important. Do not sacrifice who you are for anything. So spend time with your family, sing carols, put up lights, light the menorah.
It'll boost your immune response.
Yes. So again, the whole purpose of life is love and connections and family. Do not sacrifice that at any cost. Be respectful, but also don't be afraid. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow when we announce the winners of our giveaways.
Woo! Finish video. Listen. It won't turn off. It literally won't let me turn it off.
It just wants me to keep talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just have to keep telling them things.
Well, let me show you something called Kava.
Oh, okay. I think it's going to listen to me now.
Okay.